Hey everybody, and welcome to the latest video. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. Today we're going to take a little closer look inside this 1964 Firebird. If you haven't checked out the other two videos on the guitar, it has a pretty interesting story, and I think it sounds pretty decent as well. So I want to look at the electronics, measure the pickups, take a look at the channel routing, see if it's original or not. And I'm going to be doing some work on this guitar, so I've got to take it apart anyways. Full disclosure, when I bought it, I was under the impression these were 70s Firebird pickups, so we're going to take a look and see. But hopefully this is something halfway entertaining that you can watch. I know I enjoy working on these old guitars, so we're going to detune it. I'm going to cut the strings off here because they were dead anyways. I'm not sure how you're supposed to string banjo tuners, to be honest with you, but whoever did it on this guitar, they sort of looped it around and tied it off. So if anyone knows the proper way to tune banjo tuner guitars, please let me know. So here's the bridge that has been on the guitar for a while. It doesn't even want to come off, actually. There we are. Schaller bridge, possibly. It's made in Germany. And they actually work very well. I just don't like the look of them, to be honest with you. I've had them before. So I've actually ordered a replacement with a properly intonated bridge for a unwound G string. Unfortunately, these knobs are not original, so I've been working on finding some replacements there. So why don't we go ahead and take a look at this control cavity and the pots, which are not original, unfortunately. All right, here's the cover with Steve's name on it that led to the whole story of the guitar. And here we have the back plate. I'm gonna move the camera. There we are. So we've got a couple orange drops in here. Pretty much homemade wiring job, but the pots are dated 7605, so that's gonna be the 5th week of 76, which lines up with the potential 70s pickups. Gibson reissued the Firebird in 72 with the medallion bird, and then also in 76 with the bicentennial. These pots and pickups might have been stripped from a bicentennial bird or something of that nature. If I am able to find some replacements, which 64, 63 pots are pretty hard to come by, that would be preferred. You can see the residue from some of the gray spray paint, or really it was conductive paint that they sprayed in the cavities for shielding. This looks pretty accurate for it being a real 1964 Firebird. Let's go ahead and open up the pick guard here, and we can see really if it's a Firebird 1 or not, because a Firebird 1 should have just a straight across channel route, which would help you get the wiring from the single pickup to the pots, and there was no switch with a Firebird 1. And so with the Firebird 3, there was a factory switch routing. And if we look and see that it is not factory, then that's pretty much, yeah, that's it. We have the original straight across channel route from what I believe, and then this is not factory, although it does look like a fairly professional job. I think that's a pretty clear sign that you would not have done this unless you were adding a switch. So, all right, so let's take a look at the pickups, and we will measure the reading here with my multimeter. I mentioned in the last video, the bridge pickup is a little bit microphonic, kind of. It also is not as loud as the neck pickup. There's a definite difference when you switch between pickups and volume. So I might send it to my pickup guy and see if there's anything obvious going on that can be changed. But also, if you tap on the outer pickup ring here, it makes a pretty loud noise, but on this pickup, it's not there. Let's check it out. Patent number pickup. If you look in the actual cavity itself, you can see that it is not factory. So if you didn't know, unfortunately, this guitar had humbuckers in it, and then it was very professionally repaired to be reverted back to these mini humbuckers, but because of that, the cavities are not original. What's weird is there's these holes in the bottom of the base plate here, and there's some kind of material back there. And apparently some of these old pickups were made with wood as a part of the design. That's kind of what that looks like in there. And this is another patent number humbucker, mini humbucker with the same patent numbers. And these do look like they were a matching pair to me. All right, let's get a reading on these pickups real quick here. So this is not the best way to measure your pickups, but it's the quickest, easiest way. Turn all your knobs all the way up, plug in a 1/4 inch cable, take your multimeter, and switch to whatever pickup you want to measure. Let's measure the neck and see if it looks right. Let's see what we get. 6.5, which pretty low output compared to a lot of hotter pickups. The patent number Gibson humbuckers that I've used in the past, range from 7 to 8. P90s I've had are usually 8K ohms around, and then Strat pickups from the 50s, 60s are about 5.7K ohms. So in terms of humbuckers, these are pretty low. That is consistent with the readings on mini humbuckers and Firebird mini humbuckers. So then all you have to do is switch to the bridge pickup, and it does have a lower reading, actually 6.2K. Well, that's it for today, guys. We've taken a look inside of this guitar. We verified the pickups are 70s, and I think it was a Firebird 1 based on this channel routing here that is clearly not factory. No way is that factory. Again, what I said I'm going to do from here is actually locate some 64 pots to use, locate some proper knobs, try to fix this pickup. And I know there's a whole cult following of people out there that think you should leave guitars exactly as they came. I just don't really subscribe to that mentality unless it was a guitar owned by Hendrix or a guitar owned by Jimmy Page or someone famous, maybe that modified, like David Gilmour. You don't take David Gilmour's Strat and put it back to original because he modified it and that was his thing. Well, this guitar has a great story, but it's been heavily modified, Technically, I don't even know if Steve, the owner, that I looked up, refinished it. I don't know. So basically what I'm getting at is I'm considering doing a proper refinish because I don't like it. And people, for whatever reason, get upset if you change guitars. But if it's an original finished guitar, you don't change it. If it's been refinished and it's not famously owned, then, I want to make it work for me. So I'm considering doing a proper nitro refinish and looking at my options. Ultimately, I want the guitar to be played. I want it to be right for me, and it's not quite right for me. So that's something I may or may not do if the opportunity comes into play. So that's it for today, guys. Hope you enjoyed this look inside of the Firebird. I love working on these guitars and taking it apart, so I try to share it, and hopefully you can dig it as well. So I will see you in the next video. Peace. Well, hello, faithful members of the channel who always watch till the end. This is some bonus footage for you. So I've taken all the pots out of the control cavity back here so I could get in and kind of remove some of the overspray and reveal what original finish was left, and I found a little bit of a clue actually. So the way this was set up currently was you have your 2 volumes, your 2 tones, and then you have your output jack here. And what's interesting, on a Firebird 1, it would have only had a volume, a tone, and a jack down here. And you can see to fit the jack in place, you have to kind of modify the wood to get it to sit low enough. And actually, down here, that's the factory work where the jack was for Firebird 1. So there's some pretty good proof, actually, that the original jack to the guitar was down here and not up here. Someone's done this homemade work right here. So that's it. Firebird 1, for sure. It was at one point in time, this was a very rare bird, but now it is slightly modified. Thank you guys for watching. Bye-bye.